Good morning and welcome to my channel. My name is Shoshana, and this morning I want to do something a little bit different. I want to tell a little bit about what happened last night, and I'm coming at this from a spiritual point of view. I just feel like I have to speak of this. Last night at 3 o'clock in the morning, there were war sirens that went off that woke us up out of a deep sleep. Just in the middle of the night, you can imagine it's like uh, uh, this roaring sirens that sound like they're right on top of you. And my son was home, so my other son was sleeping over at friends. In the end, he ended up coming home in the middle of the night after everything. But my son woke me up. Well, he didn't wake me up. I woke up from the sirens, but he burst into my room and was completely distraught. And typically I live in northern Israel in Galilee. And I want to put out there right away at the very beginning of this video, this is not political. And I do not get into politics. The way that I see it is that as long as you are on a side, you are playing the game. You're playing the game of the Matrix. It doesn't matter if you're on this team or you're on this team, you're in the playing field. And I refuse to give my power to that. But from a spiritual point of view, I kind of feel like there is a need for a video like this to be made to kind of explain the energetics of it, the way that I see it energetically. So the sirens went off in the middle of the night. Typically, I wouldn't go to the bomb shelter, but my son was adamant that we go to the bomb shelter. The first thing I did was got up and I got dressed and I went outside and looked in the sky to see if I could see any missiles going over, because a couple of years ago when the war first broke out, you would be able to see explosions in the sky. And it was full moon last night, or almost very close to. And so I went with my son to the bomb shelter. We sat there for, there's a bomb shelter in the neighborhood. We went there, we sat there with other neighbors for maybe 10 minutes. And then I decided that's it. I'm going home. I'm refusing to give more of my time and focus and energy to this. But I also started feeling like maddened. I started feeling like this intense, like maddening coming up, because I realized, and this was the first time also that my phone went off, a siren on my phone. It's like it's like you have no choice. You are there. It's like the lower dimensions are trying to force you into their game. And by way of coming into like your complete privacy, into your bedroom at night, into your phone. My phone had this big warning sign on it. I took a picture of it, of this big warning sign on it. And the siren was going off in my phone, my personal phone. And I felt like this was it felt like the lower dimensions, the lower vibrational states of being are trying to force me into their game, or into and I'm this video is a little bit different because I'm kind of upset. It takes a lot to get me mad, but I felt like it was a complete it almost feels like you're being energetically raped, coming into your own a quiet zone, going through this spiritual awakening, rising into the understanding that we are living in the Garden of Eden. We are living literally in the Garden of Eden. And it's like these dimensions live side by side. People that live in heaven on earth and people that live in hell on earth. And the people that are living in hell on earth they're playing their little game of hell and control and all of the tactics that kind of have been taken over society and brainwashing society for generations and generations. And they're now trying to force me into their game. It feels like it feels what is the word? Alim in Hebrew. Alim means like it's brutal, almost like it's force. And I want to find the word, so I'm going to pause this for a sec. So it's like they're using scare tactics to bring terror into my world, and it feels like I still didn't find the word, but it feels like it's I'm going to find this word. Violent is the word. It's like energetic violence. It's we are all playing out our lives on the same physical platform, and every single one of us is living in their own universe using this same realm, the physical realm, but we are living simultaneously in different dimensions. There's the dimension, and it's like there's a scale of dimensions from hell on earth to heaven on earth. And each person has within their own right to live within whichever perspective dimension that they choose. And while going through the spiritual awakening, we understand we are rising into a state of being in pure divine essence, which is in a pure state of bliss. And there are many, probably many. It's like the war of light and darkness. But there are many people that are living a living hell, that are living in a perspective that the world is taking from them, and that you have to take everything by force, and you have to, all of the lower vibrational shame and fear and fear-based emotions, and all of these different dimensions are living simultaneously on the same platform. It depends on where you put your focus and where you are intentionally living. And so if you're watching the birds and the bees and the fruit and looking at the magnificence of it all, and the plants and how they grow and how we are a part of all of this, then you are living in a state of awe. You're living in a state of gratitude, in a state of quiet, where you're connected to all things and all things are connected to you. And because we are all connected, we're also connected to humanity as a whole. And so these lower, and I'm going to come back to holding our space. So in these lower dimensional, when you are holding the space, it's like being closer to the top of the pyramid. When you are speaking from ground zero, or you're speaking from heaven, you can see all of the layers that are below you. And now it seems below you that you have come beyond, that you have overcome, that you have bypassed, that you have gone through. So it's just like I always say with the emotions, we can go as deep as we have gone with ourselves with another. So when we have lived already in that state of being and we have come out of it, we have the capability of seeing it from outside of it. So that state of fear and the lower vibrations of scarcity and lack and hatred and force, and thinking that that my ego is me, that I have to make everything happen, otherwise it's not going to happen, trying to take control back from God. And when you see the layers of humanity that are in that game, in that cycle, whether it is the leaders of countries playing with nuclear bombs that could completely wipe out humanity, it feels like they are protruding themselves violently and with force into my dimension, because we are playing on the same platform. It's like, and we're all part of one humanity, that of that it's almost like they are forcing me to by putting off sirens at 3 o'clock in the morning when there were no bombs coming. What is that? And the only reason that was there, the only reason that those sirens went off were to create havoc and fear in the people. 3 o'clock in the morning, you have these loud sirens, war sirens, warning you're going to be bombed, going off at 3 o'clock in the morning, waking you out of a state of sleep. And there's no bombs coming. It's just a warning because we're bombing. What does it have to do with anything? I didn't choose that. It's a scare tactic. It's a control tactic, trying to control the people into fear, because when people are in fear, they're easily controlled and contained, and forcing you to like take sides. Oh, be on our side. We're the good ones. And every side thinks that they're the good ones. But as long as you're in that playing field, as long as you are willing to take your own mind and go into that playing field, you are giving your power to it. And you are choosing separation rather than choosing a side. Is choosing separation of humanity. It's choosing not to be in a pure state of heaven and earth. It's choosing to play the stupid game that is now happening around the world. And I'm crying out for humanity. This is crazy. This is crazy. People are killing each other. It's like the right hand is killing the left hand. It's crazy. And I've said before in some of my videos, and I typically don't like to go into things like this because I don't like to give my power to the stupid game. But I feel like these things need to be said so that, because the way that I see it is the way I can see it as an energetic template very clearly. And I want to I feel like my part is to bring that forward. And as long as you are choosing sides, you are giving your power to the freaking game. As long as, and I feel like my part is to hold that spiritual light, to hold a different way of looking at things that isn't in separation, that is with humanity and with healing and for good and for the birds and for the animals and for the land and for healing. And I've put up a few, in my videos, sometimes I said that I'm in Galilee or in Israel, and I've had comments, people say to me, well, I'm not going to watch your videos anymore because you're in Israel. What about all the Palestinians that are dead? And I know. It's a travesty what is happening around the entire world, also here. There are no sides to it. We are all part of the same thing. And so when I go into those places, it hurts. It just hurts. That's all. And and I feel like, first of all, if you're going to write something political, just know I refuse to get into it, and I refuse to get into it because I do not want to give my power to the game. As long as I am even responding to political crap, it's putting myself in a much lower vibrational field. If you're fighting for this person or fighting for that person you're in the game. You're giving your power to the game. And as a powerful being and knowing my own power, I refuse to give my power away to those lower vibrational games of politics, of this person against that person and this person against that person. If you're choosing a side, you are in the ball game. You can't choose a side without being part of that game and giving your own individual power to it. And there are so many people giving their power to it. There's enough people in the world giving their power to those things. I don't feel like I need to add or have anything to add because, first of all, I'm only knowledgeable. I don't watch news, but the news gets to me. Whatever is relevant to me, my perspective on it is whatever is relevant to me will show up in my life. And so sirens in the middle of the night showed up in my life, and by force, by complete violent force. And and I feel like there's enough people holding that vibration, and my power, my individual power, is so much better of service by holding the light, by holding the higher vibration of love and connectiveness and self-healing. And each and every one of us, if we do our own part of self-healing and quit putting our attention on all, imagine if around the world everybody drops their attention, quits looking at all the wars that are going around the entire world. This is World War III, and the main battlefield is the battlefield over your consciousness, over your mind, trying to grab your attention and bring you to a different side. And that is why each and every one of us, if we individually do our own self-healing process and guide each other through it, helping each other rise, and all of the focus is taken off of the war, guess what happens to the war? It just goes, it just falls away. If everybody's paying attention to themselves and quit trying to put importance on things outside of us, it's just ridiculous. I can't even, it's almost incomprehensible, the ridiculousness of it. And so so it's like you have these outside forces of evil and fear tactics and other people. Who thought of that? Who thought, let's put a siren in the middle of the night and wake everybody up from their slumber and force them into this complete fear? And I feel like even with all that said, I still have to, and you can see the bluff of it all. And you still have to get up in the morning, and you still have to try to make a living, and you still have to try to, I still have to wash dishes and take care of my kids and do laundry. And you have all of this bombardment. It's a lot. That is, and all of that shaking. It's almost like you're so busy with your life of trying to scramble to even hold yourself above water so that you have a roof over your head. And you have the very ones that are supposed to be your protectors, right? Your government, the people that are supposed to be those that protect you. It feels like all they want is to take from you and to force you down this fear so that they can control you and put you into their own little boxes and try to pull your attention. Try to pull your attention to the left, try to pull your attention to the right. Come and be part of our game. Try to force you to be part of the game. And at the same time, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to get up and go live somewhere else across the world? Even across the world, everywhere in the world now, there's turmoil and ruckus, and it's like the end times. It's like the Armageddon. It's like the time of the Messiah. We are living now in the time of the prophecies. It is absolute, and we, if you're watching this video, and you're watching, then we are the bringers of the new way, of the light. We are those who are rising and bringing a new. The reason that there's so much turmoil and fighting around the world now is because the old systems are crashing, and they're fighting. Those dark energies, the dark entities, are fighting for their survival. They're trying to hold on. So the fear tactics that used to work don't work as good anymore. So now they're creating those, like turning up the volume. But as they turn up the volume, the people are breaking further and further away. Like myself and you are breaking further and further away. But it's like we're living in this one dimension, and they're having all this turmoil in their dimension, and their dimension is starting to leak over into our dimension, which means that something over here is happening, and that's why they're leaking in. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I hope that that was pretty clear. These are both crazy times to be alive in, but also interesting times, and I feel like it's a big privilege to be alive in these times and to be witnesses to uh, what is happening, and to be alive and experience what is happening in the world. So I'm sending you guys so much love and strength. Thank you for being here and watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. Thank you.